Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, this is the Daily Deucey podcast. Today is January 20th, Wednesday, Inauguration Day, and apparently the military coup didn't happen, and Trump didn't storm the Capitol himself, and President President Biden is temporarily holding the spot until President Kamala comes in and puts everybody on notice. But this story that we're starting out with was too good. Bernie Sanders steals the inauguration with his grumpy chic outfit. It's a little known fact that the presidential inauguration actually doubles as a fashion show of preppy winter fits, and President-elect Joe Biden's was no different. But the winner of the Capitol steps on Wednesday wasn't Michelle Obama in her plum Sergio Hudson, or Vice President Kamala Harris's stepdaughter Ella Emhoff in her embellished coat, or Joe Biden in her custom blue Markarian. No, it was the grumpy chic outfit of Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. The pose, the mittens, the social distance. If you're tuning into the audio-only version of the podcast, fucking Bernie, dude. He just looks so defeated. He's sitting there in like a big like parka with these like lumberjack mittens on with this fucking sulk on his face. And listen, Bernie's sitting there thinking, I should be president. That's a terrible Bernie impersonation. I'm not really an impersonation guy. But honestly, Bernie should be president right now. They fucked him so many times. So all these people saying how awful Trump is and how we really need to get things back together. We could have had Bernie, bro. We could have had Bernie, and they stole it from him again. It's really fucked up. Could have had Bernie. Bernie is your uncle who walks into your graduation dinner, hands you a check he just ripped out of his checkbook, no card, and asks the waiter where the nearest UPS drop box is because he needs to return something while he's out. Which, I mean, come on. That's definitely true, right? Uncle Bernie. It's literally the same jacket as he had when he was wearing the I'm once again asking you for money videos. Mittens, made by a teacher from Essex Junction, Vermont. Repurposed wool sweaters and lined with fleece made from recycled plastic bottles. That can't be true. Is it really? That's the most Vermont thing I've ever heard in my entire life. All right, moving on. Let's get to some good news here. COVID research updates. Immune cells remember COVID for at least half a year. The immune system remembers how to make antibodies that can fend off the new coronavirus for at least 6 months after the initial infection, reports Michael Nooses at the Rockefeller University in New York City and his colleagues. So they collected blood samples from 87 people about 1 month and 6 months after they were infected with the virus. The team monitored participants' levels of antibodies and memory B cells, immune cells that would stimulate the production of antibodies against the virus if the study participants were reinfected. The team found that levels of antibodies against the coronavirus's spike protein declined over 6 months. But participants' levels of memory B cells specific for making the antibodies against the spike protein remained consistent. The researchers sampled the intestines of 14 participants, so their poop, 4 months after infection and found that half had persistent SARS-CoV-2 protein or RNA, and potentially providing a continued source of stimulation to the immune system. Okay, so that's the January 19th update from yesterday. So, Dr. Deucey kind of said, like, let's get everyone and get to the fucking, hopefully we get them through it, and then everyone has the antibodies. I mean, we're not going too deep into this story, but there's already stories about vaccines running out. Fucking San Francisco's about to run out of the vaccine already. New York doesn't have enough vaccine. You got people on fucking vaccine lists until April. Give the vaccine to the old people. Young people, I'm not a doctor, so don't listen to me, but I don't know if young people should get it. Let's go into some more overseas kind of craziness, and hopefully with more dealings with the Chinese government with President Biden, we'll start locking up auto technocrats around here too. Jack Ma resurfaces in new video after almost 3-month disappearance. A representative for the Jack Ma Foundation confirmed to reporters that the businessman had participated in the online ceremony of the annual Rural Teacher Initiative event on January 20th. Jack Ma, the founder of Chinese e-commerce group Alibaba, or basically the Chinese Amazon, has made its first public appearance since October, bringing almost 3 months of intense speculation about his possible whereabouts to a close. So he was seen in a video clip in rural China talking to teachers, blah, 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 blah. Investors' momentary reassurance follows months of inscrutable actions from the Chinese state to reassert control over one of the country's wealthiest figures, whose conglomerate provides over 70% of Chinese citizens with fintech services through Alipay, which Trump was trying to ban a little while ago. So now they're rounding up their people. That's cool. We'll have that here soon, too. A representative for the charitable Jack Ma Foundation confirmed to reporters that Ma had participated in the event. He said to have pledged his commitment working with his colleagues to improve education and public welfare. Okay, so Ant Group has, over these months, come under fire for its allegedly monopolistic overreach and fallen prey to the Chinese Communist Party's Politburo's intent to prevent a disorderly expansion of capital in the national economy. The conglomerate's present difficulties date back to late October, the last time Ma was seen in public, when he delivered a speech that was sharply critical of both regulators and China's banking sectors. The speech was delivered on the eve of Ant Group's planned initial public offering, which had been expecting to draw $37 billion at a company valuation of well over $300 billion. Ma's ill-received speech sparked the Chinese authorities to step up their moves to rein in the corporate giant, pulling the plugs on its plan to go public and then launching an antitrust probe into Alibaba. Wow. So, listen, dude. People, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I want the government to step in our country to make sure that we have, like, the public freedoms to keep this going. So the Chinese government is coming in to make sure that we don't have freedoms. So, well, the Chinese citizens, I'm not a Chinese citizen, but so there was somebody said, like, China is a government-run media and the U.S. is a media-run government, which, I mean, it sounds about right, but I don't know who we should trust more. The private sector trying to make a buck or the government trying to stay in control? I don't know, man, but it's fucking dangerous, and we're dealing with China all this time, and hopefully Biden keeps on, Biden's new kind of, I forget if it was Secretary of State or I know Janet Yellen also said some things about China. Hopefully we're going to kind of keep the pressure up on China because they do bullshit business things that really give them an advantage over us. And they shouldn't really be paying their people fucking $6 a month to do all this shit. Anywho, Crypto Deucey update, 1:15 p.m. on the 20th. The crypto has not been doing great today, but it is actually kind of coming back a little bit. It was down lower this morning. We have Bitcoin, 34,893 with a 4% drop today. Ethereum, net 1,312% with a 4% drop as well. Litecoin, $147.26 at a just under 6% drop. And XRP at around 29 cents with a minus 2% drop. We will see. We'll see what happens with the SEC. I don't even want to go into their whole lawsuit with Ripple. We had touched on that prior. But if that lawsuit goes in Ripple's favor, Ripple's going to go to the moon. And if these start correlating where Ethereum's kind of like a tenth, would it be a tenth if that came to 3,000? Yeah. So if they start correlating that and then Litecoin goes to 300 and they all kind of stick in that same area, we'll be sitting really nice. Okay, so for our local story, I have two stories here. One is from a couple days ago and then one is an update to that. So from NorthJersey.com, as of the 17th, Noose found in front of Fairlawn home is being investigated by authorities. Authorities are looking into how a noose ended up tied to a tree in front of a home in the borough after a resident discovered it on Saturday night. Mayor Kurt Peluso said in an interview that a resident shared on social media that she found the noose in front of her house, posting a photo of it, and he reached out to her after seeing the post. To protect the resident's privacy, he did not disclose his location. Peluso said Fair Lawn Police and the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office are investigating the matter. He had said the noose has since been taken down. If you saw the photo on social media, some are saying that it might have been a utility company. I reached out to Verizon and they said it wasn't them and they would not use that type of rope or do anything like that. Then PSE&G reached out to me and said, no, that's not something we would ever do. So, audio only version, it looks kind of like a fucking noose in a tree. I don't really know much about hanging nooses, thankfully, and because I'm fucking from New Jersey, and listen, I'm sure that shit had happened here as well, but it kind of looks shitty. So, as we kind of finish off this article from a couple days ago, Peluso, who expressed outrage on the news, majority of the people found that the news were disturbed by it. They found it very upsetting. Unfortunately, we've seen situations like this in other towns where they keep it quiet and push it under the rug. I mean, I haven't heard of that. Discovery of the noose is a dark reminder, symbol of hate in the history, recalling in particular lynching of 4,000 Right. So, yeah, nooses are bad. So, update to that story as of yesterday. Really today, because it was updated at 8:05 p.m. Fair Lawn Police say the noose found in a residence tree was not deliberate. Okay. A rope resembling a noose found in a residence tree was apparently left behind by utility companies and was not a deliberate act, police said Tuesday. According to police, detectives spoke with multiple utilities companies, which told them that the rope was consistent with what is regularly used by the companies. The utilities could not say who tied it or when it was left behind. Okay, wait a second. Because in your prior article, you said none of them said that's anything that they would ever do. So who's fucking up here? The NorthJersey.com or the police bullshitting? Because in one article, the mayor says that Verizon and fucking PSE&G and none of them have anything to do with that, nor would they do anything like that. But now they're saying that it is consistent with what could be used by the companies. Okay. The rope was discovered on Saturday afternoon by a homeowner in the Warren Point section of the borough. Kelly McLeod was starting to walk her son to a friend's house when the rope caught her attention. They had not been outside of the house often. They had not been outside of the house often because of the pandemic. So this wasn't in her home. When they got back home, McLeod inspected the rope more closely, trying to recall whether it was perhaps a Halloween decoration that was mistakenly left hanging. So I don't understand. Is Kelly McLeod the person whose house it was in front of? McLeod says she goes all out in front of her yard for the holiday, but didn't match any of the twines that I had in my house, and it was up at a height where I couldn't just reach it without grabbing it. The rope was a type of twine and thinner than a shoelace. Okay, so the one thing I do have to mention here is the first picture that they show on fairlawn.com, which says a Fair Lawn resident found the rope that resembles a noose found in a tree. This doesn't even look like the same fucking picture, so I don't even understand what the fuck they're like. This is just a rope hanging out of a tree, like just generally, which looks like it got caught up in the tree, but this has nothing to do with the other picture that she had put. After checking with neighbors and posting to a private Facebook group to see if the residents had found anything, McLeod called the police. I honestly don't know what it was. When I saw it, it was the loop that made her uneasy. The silver dollar size loop formed at the... Wait, silver dollar size loop? That doesn't look silver dollar sized. Is this the picture or not? That looks fucking... That silver dollar is like a fucking... It's the size of your hand. Less than... Like you can hold it with your hand. Whoa. I'm not making fucking... white supremacist symbols, okay? How can I, like, is that better? I'm sure that's some fucking sort of supremacist symbol too. Okay, so here we go. If you saw the photo, blah, 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 I reached out to Verizon. Okay, that's the old article. It's not silver dollar size. I don't really understand that. I remember joking with my friends. I was like, you know what? Whoever did it, and if they intentionally did it, they obviously didn't go to Boy Scouts and learn how to make knots. Okay. She has 2 young children and said, with all that is going on in the world, she wanted to be sure her family was not being targeted. They removed the twine and overhead cables. Okay, so again, here, this is another fucking picture. Like, what is this picture? Because this is now a different picture. This is a fucking twine and rope hung from utility lines. If you're on the audio only, now they're showing a picture of twine hung from utility lines. Mayor Kurt Peluso said he spoke with utility companies which told him the twine does not match what they would use. Okay, so is the mayor lying or is the cops lying? I don't really kind of understand what's going on. I don't think it's coincidental that the rope was found on a black woman's front lawn who also has a Black Lives Matter sign on her front lawn. It's interesting when you look at what home it is on. I mean, he's kind of right. Like, if the lady's got a Black Lives Matter sign and somebody put a noose in a tree in front of her house, yeah, that's a fucking problem, bud. I don't, that's a bit of a problem. McLeod has no idea how long the rope was in the tree. If a utility worker purposely tied it in that manner, that is a whole different ball game. She takes solace in the way the town rallied around her. One thing I can say is the town definitely rallied around her. Great. Okay, so, I don't really understand, to be honest, especially if you're not in the video version, because is it this picture? Is it this picture? Or is it this picture? Because, this picture looks like a fucking hanging noose, and if it was tied in front of a house that had a fucking Black Lives Matter sign in front of it, that's really shitty. And there has to be some fucking Ring fucking cameras or something that would get the people on camera. So, I don't know. Maybe I should reach out to Fairlawn PD and get an update because I don't really understand what the picture was. If it was these pictures, then that's silly. If it was this picture, that's a bit of a problem. Okay. So, a little bit more lighthearted, the Deucey entertainment section. Thank God that this is actually going to be over. Jurassic World Dominion is the culmination of all 6 Jurassic movies. It will be a celebration of the whole franchise. Great. Jurassic World Dominion director Colin Trevorrow, what kind of name is Trevorrow, has revealed that the upcoming movie will conclude the story of all 6 Jurassic movies, not just the sequel trilogy. During an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Trevorrow spoke about how Dominion will sink its teeth, and plenty of them, ha ha ha, dinosaur jokes, corny, into the larger story of the franchise, which started with Jurassic Park back in 1993. He referred to the next installment as a celebration of the whole franchise, as it apparently aims to tie together and draw the entire movie series to a close. To me, Dominion is a culmination of one story that's been told. When you got to the end of the Jurassic Park trilogy, it may not have been as clear in what complete story of those 3 movies was, but because they were a bit more episodic in the way they were approached. But this trilogy is not that way. It's much more serialized of a story. So, they're wrapping up the fucking idea of Jurassic Park. Thank God. I really hope, they don't go, super woke and, the dinosaurs start living in, harmony with humans and, we have to elect, a dinosaur president. And then the dinosaurs mate and we have dinosaur people who are the reptilians, and it all comes full circle. Fuck. God damn it. The reptilians are coming for us, guys. And this is how they work their way in with WAPs and Jurassic Park movies, which shows their ancient heritage. And really, Jurassic Park was 20,000 years ago. Maybe. All right, 8 minutes. Let's see, 18 minutes. Let's see if President Biden keeps the country together. And hopefully nobody will attack the government for a little bit. Well, maybe. I'll have more content to make. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by.